Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here and welcome to another video today. I'm going to be answering some more questions that people usually leave in the comments section or in my Twitch streams. So the title of the video is whether or not a prime Maradona is worth getting. And thankfully guys, when I did try out the Maradona in draft, the gameplay was quite decent for me to really try out the card and see how good or bad that the card actually is. My opinion, because I think this is a prime version of his card, and a prime version of this card is going to be incredibly expensive. Now, the card is a lot of fun to use. The dribbling is honestly to perfection. It's like Messi's dribbling, but like better, right? His dribbling is very, very quick. His composure on the ball is fantastic. His shooting is very good, 97 finishing and 95 composure. His shot power is 85 with 94 long shots, so it's really nice to have that as a central cam or even as a striker. You can literally put this card anywhere in the attacking lineup where if you're using him as a cam or a striker, he'll play very, very well there. He has 94 acceleration with 90 sprint speed while also having 91 agility and 98 bounce, so he will move very, very quickly on the ball. Like I said, his dribbling is absolutely fantastic because he has the bare minimum of 90 all the way to the top of 90 in his dribbling stats while also being good with acceleration and sprint speed while also being 5'5". So if your agility and your bounce is 91 and 98, while being 5'5", with really good dribbling stats, he's going to be very, very responsive to your controls in game, depending on the gameplay, of course. But we did try out the card. It's a very, very good card. My only dilemma with the card, and it's a big dilemma taking into consideration if you're being very serious towards using the card, the 3-star weak foot does present to be a problem a lot of the times. Now, he does have 97 finishing with 95 composure, and a lot of people will say that overcompensates the 3-star weak foot. It never compensates for the weak foot. If your weak foot is that bad, the finishing and the composure never compensates for that weak foot. So there's a lot of different situations where I wanted to take a shot with his right foot, and as you guys know, he's a left-footed player, so he didn't really take a good shot with his right foot. So is it worth spending the money on a Diego Maradona? I mean, it's Maradona. If you have the money in the game and you want to spend on him, be my guest. But it's not a card that I would particularly want to get because for the stats that you're getting, he's an amazing card. But I feel like you can get better value for money for different types of players because he's very expensive. If you have the money in the game, I would recommend you guys picking him up. Would I recommend you to use him in a full meta team? It really depends because in a lot of situations, his other stats really outweigh the fact that his weak foot sucks. But then there's too many situations where he has to take a really good shot with his right foot. And because he can't, it kind of throws you off of the card a little bit because of how expensive it is. I'm not sure exactly how expensive it is. I'm actually going to go check out right now because I'm pretty sure you can only do them, the SBC version of the card, which is... I don't think there's an actual price range for it. I think with you can actually check the SBC for it, Diego Maradona. So the SBC itself costs 2.75 million coins, which to be fair, isn't really that bad considering that people can, if you're really good at trading in the game, you can get the card quite quote unquote easily, but you would have to trade, and trading for me personally, I would never do because I get really bored if I get into the whole trading concept. I should do it in between my games, especially if I'm taking breaks in between my matches. I definitely should look into doing it more often because sometimes I see people who trade make a profit of like $1 million in a day, right? So in 3 days they can get like a Diego Maradona. So it's very, very situational with his card. I personally wouldn't spend 2.75 million coins on him, but everybody is very different. Is the card very good? Yes, it's fantastic. The only difference with the card is you will notice the weak foot and the lack of physical presence in the air because he only has 82 jumping with 67 heading while also being 75 strength, 76 aggression with 5'5" height. Right? So he's not really going to win the ball for you in the air. So if you're expecting your cam to win a cross when you're crossing it in against a defender, he won't really do it that often for you. So the concepts that or the specific characteristics that's missing with a Maradona, especially since you're paying so much for him, is obviously the weak foot and the physical strength because he doesn't really jump that well and he can't really outbody people. But he kind of makes up for it in the dribbling. Since he's so fast at dribbling, that's how he beats people with the ball. So he's a fantastic card. I really had a lot of fun using him, but I'm not really sure if I would put the money into him because that's a lot of money to put into. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's Diego Maradona, right? If you want to have fun with FIFA and you want to use that card, be my guest, man. He's awesome. But we're going to go ahead and answer some questions that you guys usually ask in the videos. As you guys know, if you guys have any questions FIFA related, whether it's one player or the other, please try not to ask like very generic questions. Like I always get the Messi or Neymar and stuff. Like if like kind of change it up a little bit, you know, so that it's not always the same type of content, so that when people kind of get this understanding of how I think, it helps them a little bit more, right? So we're going to get into these comments. This is from the last video. We have quite a few comments here. I also have the comments from my Twitch stream. It's running in the background right now, just so I can have some questions to answer if we have extra time as well. So we're going to get on with the first comment, which says, love the content, Inception, and thank you so much for your insight and advice. You really helped me win the FUT Division 1 title for the first time in any version of the title. Thank you. I want to give back by giving you some content ideas. A video where you go head-to-head, play co-op for fun, or just discuss the state of FIFA with Jukes, Mike, or similar FIFA NA or rest of the world players. That's actually a really funny idea because I was actually going to do a podcast with Jarba, but it's just, we have to find the time to actually do it and actually make the video for it. But I did ask him to do it, and he's down to do it. It's just about when we actually do it. So I have considered doing that, and I know that people would be very interested in it. Because as you guys know, there's certain things that when I think about FIFA, I don't think it's opinion. I just think it's fact, and that it's a very stubborn way of thinking, of course. But there's just certain things that I don't agree with, and I just don't think is an opinion. So it would definitely be worth having a conversation with people in regards to the state of gameplay, content, or how the state of FIFA is in general. So it would definitely be interesting to do that. A live stream and chat for some global series tournaments where you analyze the gameplay from other pro players, or even make fun of the state of the game would be nice. We're not going to be talking too much about the gameplay anymore, like poorly. People understand exactly how I feel towards the game. I don't want to be negative all the time, so we're not going to be doing that. But analyzing pro player gameplay is definitely something I can do if people are interested in doing that. A video series where you would critique your followers' gameplay for just one match, offering tips where we could improve, whether that's our squads, weak points, tendencies, or areas that need improvement. I'm actually going to do that, and if you guys have any full gameplay videos, I actually have people who have sent me their gameplay, so I will be doing reviews of people's gameplays probably after this podcast. Actually, I might even do this. I might do the video yesterday or tomorrow, depending on when this video goes live, because people did ask if that's something I could look into, and it's definitely something that I want to. I want to see if I can get, I would say 2 or 3 games from people, because I feel like that would be a little bit more helpful than just one game, just to keep the hour time span open, because people have different types of gameplay genres that they usually tend to do. I would have to know people's tactics, instructions, and all those kind of things to help them have a better understanding of what they may or may not want to do, because I can't tell you what you should do, because everyone plays differently. Even if you think you're not very good at the game, you still want to play a specific way to win the match, whether that's closer passing or you want the space between you and your attackers to be a little bit farther. People would have to let me know what type of gameplay they want to play for them to win, because you can win with any type of gameplay. Slow possessive build-up, really fast aggressive attacking, really conservative defensive. So it really depends on what type of gameplay you want to play, right? Obviously that depends on the gameplay, because the gameplay is super inconsistent, but you can still play this version of what you want to play. But yeah, I have considered that. I actually tweeted it out telling people to send me their full gameplay clips, so that way I can just critique it and let people know like what they may or may not want to improve on. This could provide you content for your 1-hour podcast. Also, maybe even breaking down some of the top Champions Challenge matches from a recent weekend league. All the best. I could do that too, where I go to FUTChamp's channel and just record the entire game and then just critique the gameplay. I'm not better than most of the players, but I have an understanding of why they do certain things, and I feel like it would definitely help people to understand why the good players do what they do. So yeah, I could definitely consider doing that. Those are actually very good points, Eric, and I do appreciate that. You've given me some very good ideas, man. Thank you. hey, instead of quitting FUT Champs, can you build fun squads like use players no one else uses because of chemistry concerns? So for example, use a Portuguese league team and play 10 games in the weekend league. And let's say you win 7 out of 10 with that Portuguese team. Then next week you can use a League One team and see how well they do. I've considered doing that, but I don't know, man. Like, I'm too specific with FIFA. Like, if I'm playing draft and if I'm at a disadvantage and someone else is at a disadvantage, then that allows me to have more fun with the game. But if I know I'm putting myself at a disadvantage compared to the squads that people have nowadays, because when you play FUT Champs, no one plays the game mode for fun. It's all meta. It's all based off of winning the games, which completely makes sense. Like, I'm not judging it. But I like to have more fun, which is why I play more drafts, and that's why when you guys look at my videos or my podcast, the gameplay in the background is drafts, because the game forces you to use different formations, players, tactics with the instructions you have to use because of the formations. That's more fun for me, right? More fun. It's more fun for me because it's the point of FIFA, right? The point of FIFA is to try out different formations, try out different players, and draft allows me to do that. Are the draft rewards very good? Not necessarily, but at least when I play the draft, I know that if I'm putting 15K in, at least I'll have fun using a different team every time I play. I don't like using the same team for more than 4 games. I think 4 games is a very good cutoff with draft. So if I win every single game, 4 games is a very good cutoff. I want to switch my team information so I can have fun, right? I like to do that when I play FIFA. So, but in regards to me using a specific team for the weekend league, man, I don't want to use the same team again for more than 4 matches and play the weekend league with people who are just using meta squads. It's just not going to be fun for me because I'd rather everyone be at a disadvantage. Like, this, it's just the way that I think. Not everyone's the same, but it's just a way of thinking that I have. So, yeah. The lag button delay auto defending on ultra defensive and counterattack cheese against god squads for 40 games has made the game not fun. It's very funny actually, because people who have very good teams, right, where they have all these crazy icons and all that stuff, it's funny because they actually play, most of them, not all of them, but most of them play very defensive because they know that the defensive AI is incredibly overpowered and the players will make those slide tackles for them. The only way, if you are a good player with a good team, it's very hard to break those people down if you don't have players to counter the players that he's using. So if let's just say the center backs that I use right now. So I use Eric Bailly and Boateng, right? No one gets past Eric Bailly, but everybody gets past Boateng. That's the point. That's the place that people usually exploit in my teams. Usually when they play against me, when they're decent players and they have like these god squads, they always exploit the players that are the ones that are very easy to exploit, right? And that's a huge problem. The only players that would be a good balance between like trying to actually play against a decent player with a good squad is having players like Rio Ferdinand or Laurent Blanc. You can't use Bailly's and Boateng's against prime Ronaldinho, prime Thierry Henry, Ronaldo, Messi. It's just, it's hard to defend against those guys because reaction times and movement is so important for these big icon guys that it would just help you out a lot to have those types of players. But again, people have a very weird way of thinking about this because you guys need to understand a good team will not make an average player better because an average player will not use all the specifics to the full potential with that good team. Will it help? Absolutely, because your defensive AI is going to be incredibly overpowered with these really good players. But you won't use all these little intricacies that, like the weak foot, the shooting from any position, CDM, cams, right mids, left mid, physical presence while you're running. There's a lot of different aspects that a good player needs in order for them to play to their full potential. But an average player, like, dude, I've faced a lot of guys who have an amazing squad and they're incredibly average at the game. Like, they just try to abuse the player by just running with them, right? It's not going to work because you're not using the specifics of what make those players good. So I definitely understand that point of view, man. FUT Champs for me is not a fun game mode to play. FIFA is not the type of game that I've ever wanted to go into competitive. I'm a decent player at the game. I can get good results with FUT Champs. I could have still gotten Elite 1 last weekend. I just didn't enjoy it and I didn't find it to be worth me trying to get a better team because I'm already way behind because of the times on Xbox where I played on the Xbox and I hated the gameplay, then blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of different situations, right? But But I just don't want to come up against these teams nowadays. I don't want to use the same team for 40 games in a row. I don't want to play against the same meta squads over and over again. So that's why I just play drafts, so that I can have a little bit more fun, because that's what FIFA should be, right? It should be a fun type of game. The competitive in the game and the format of how FUT Champs is, I just don't agree with it. I think you have the best gameplay I've seen from YouTubers. The quick, slick passing, the movement of your players, everything. I'd like to play like you do. Can I get the exact formation, tactics, instructions you get to use in your team playing such free-flowing FIFA? I don't have very specific tactics instructions, but I do have videos like the 4-1-2 and 2 bracket 2, the 4-2-3-1 bracket 2. I have videos for each of those formations if you want to check them out, even the 4-3-3 and stuff. So, you know, you can check out the instructions and tactics I use there, but I always change my tactics. I never use the same tactics. It's always being changed because I like to try out different things, right? The tactics is the exact same situation, right? I don't want to use the same tactics because I don't want it to feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again, because I like variety in a football game. I like to use a variety of players. Like, I played a draft today where I was using like Casemiro in the team, and I would never use Casemiro in a Division 1 squad because I know that I would automatically be putting myself at a disadvantage against somebody else. Because in draft, right, if I'm using Casemiro, it's noticeable that he's not a meta player, but he's still fun to use because it's Casemiro, right? So that's why I like playing drafts the most, man, because it's always different every time. I'm sorry, but you lost me when you said Bale is sluggish compared to Neymar. Oh, that shouldn't be too confusing. So I'll actually show you. I'm actually going to bring this up for you, actually. I'm going to show you why Bale is more sluggish than Neymar. I can't show you. I'll just like lay it out for you. It's a very important stat that people don't look into, right? So the reason why Bale is more sluggish than Neymar is because he's 6 foot tall, but he has 77 agility and 65 balance. When you're that tall and your agility and balance is that low, it makes your player like take forever on the ball, and it makes them very, very sluggish on the dribble. Like, you can't do those small little intricate touches that you can with Neymar, because if you go to Neymar's card, which we'll do the comparison right now, Neymar's regular card in comparison to Bale has 96 agility with 82 balance, and 82 balance is already very good because he's 5'9". He's not like 6'2", even though it would still be quite decent, but you would still feel a little bit of sluggishness. He has 96 agility to make up with the balance. So it's kind of like, the thing about 96 agility with 82 balance while being 5'9", it's kind of like you're taking the agility, you're taking some of the stats from the agility and putting it onto the balance, because they kind of contradict each other a little bit, right? Agility and balance in terms of really quick movement, because his agility is 96, his balance is 82, he's 5'9", but he's also 94 acceleration with 90 sprint speed while also having 90 composure, right? So you have to think about these stats really specifically, because they all contradict each other, but that's why Neymar is less version of a player that is sluggish than Bale, because of the agility and balance as well as the height. Thanks for everything. Can you next time dedicate a little bit? I've seen all your defense tutorials to speak about defense and show the buttons you press. I really need it, or I will have a panic attack. Kind regards, and thanks for the content. In regards to defensive tactics, dude, the videos that I've posted about it is as far as I can really go. Like, I've basically mentioned everything I do on the defense. But the thing, well, I don't know if I've listed everything. It's very situational, right? Because every time I defend, it's always very situational, to the point of like, okay, so if my center back just pushed out by himself and I only have 3 defenders, how am I going to defend in this situation? It's always very different in every scenario, right? It's never the same. So it's very hard to go further than what I already did in my gameplay analysis on the attacking and defending videos, because it's very hard to go more in depth than I already did, because I mentioned the buttons that I press and what I look for when I'm defending. For most of the times, right? Again, defending, you can only do so much defending when you come up against these god squads, so you have to be very intricate with the way you control your players. But if you don't have like the really good players and you're going up against like Ronaldo's and prime Ronaldinho's, they're literally just going to sprint past your players and just have that physical, and that they're going to bully everybody. So you just have to be very, very careful with those things. What are your thoughts on Cam, Dybala versus KDB or Hazard? KDB I don't like in this game at all. I never liked him. There's a lot of people that do like him, but for me personally, I don't. Hazard would be a good cam because he has the pace, the shooting, the passing, and the dribbling, as well as the 4-star, very fast on the ball, and his passing stats are quite decent. If you look at Hazard's passing stats, we'll go to his regular 90. We won't even go to his 91. He has 86 short passing with 81 long passing. So if you were to give this card a hunter to make him faster and make his shooting a little bit better, he would be a very good card. Although his finishing is it's actually very weird with Hazard's finishing, because the thing I've noticed with Hazard is that his finishing is very inconsistent, although he does have 83 finishing with 87 composure. Maybe it's the shot power being 79, that's kind of too low, but I'm not really sure. His finishing at times is very inconsistent, although I have noticed that his better versions of his card does have better finishing than his regular cards, and that makes sense, right? Because he got a huge upgrade. Like if you go from a 90 to a 94, it's a +8 in the shooting, and the +8 in the shooting actually improves a lot of things. Like it goes up to 91 finishing, 86 shot power. I think his 87 composure is only slightly increased, or they don't actually touch the composure at all when they go to the inform. So that's actually very interesting. So yeah, it's really weird with EA because their composure, sometimes they mess with the composure stat, or I think Foothead might actually have it wrong. I think it's just Foothead being wrong. I think they do actually change the composure, but I think Foothead just didn't update it properly. Yeah, Hazard would be a really good cam for sure. Best way to link Hazard in a team is honestly just to use a 4-3-2-1. If you use a 4-3-2-1, you could put Hazard easily in the squad because I think he's a right wing or a left wing. Left wing, very easy, man. EPL, there's so many meta players in that league that it's so simple to make a team, especially since he's from Chelsea and Bakayoko is such a good player that's cheap and very good in the defensive mid area. If you were to use Hazard in your team and you put Bakayoko in, that's already a strong link right there. And then you could just use like Gabriel Jesus up top and boom, Hazard has full chemistry, right? So it's very easy to add him into the team for sure. I'm so far struggling between Higuain, Icardi, and Immobile up there. Cheers. Oh, you're using Higuain, Icardi, and Immobile? If you're being specific with the game, those players are not good, bro. In my opinion. I need to say in my opinion before people are like, oh my god, I can't believe you don't like Immobile. I can't believe you don't like Higuain. I love Higuain. Higuain does so good for me. For me, I don't like him, right? Yeah, I would have to change up the team completely, to be honest, if you were going to use Dybala and Hazard in the same team, because Dybala is from Argentina, Hazard's from Belgium, so if you can work something out with that, I think it would definitely benefit you for sure. Also, thoughts on Marquisio as a central cam in a 4-2-3-1. Marquisio is not ideal, man. Marquisio has the 4-star, but he needs upgrade on his cards for him to be a good cam, because, dude, if you're going for a cheap option, he's not a good option because he has 61 finishing. That's awful. Doesn't matter if you give him a hunter card, even if they say or they claim that the shooting or the finishing is improved by +20, it just isn't, right? It just isn't improved by that much, right? Hey bro, start doing player reviews. Your analysis on the game is so good, and player reviews will make your YouTube boom because we all want to know about the players and how they perform. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing this whole Prime situation right now, because if a new SBC or a Prime card comes out and they have loan versions, or I can get them in the drafts for these cards so I can try them out so that we can review it for YouTube, I am doing that nowadays. So for that Maradona card, people will say that using Maradona in a draft isn't the best way. The general feel of how a player feels will still, if the gameplay feels decent enough, you'll still be able to tell them how they generally feel in game. You can tell the specifics that are good, specifics that are bad. Same thing with like Team of the Year Kane, Team of the Year Ronaldo. It's the exact same situation. So if players do end up coming out, I will try to play consistent drafts until I get those players so I can try them out and let you guys know what's good and bad about them, because it only takes like 1 or 2 games to realize what their positioning is like, their shooting, their passing, their awareness off the ball. Very, very important stuff. So yes, I am looking forward to doing more of that. If Team of the Weeks come out and there's really cool players that people want me to review, I'll definitely look into it, considering we have like 3.7 million coins on the Xbox. So I'll see if people are into that. Would you use Man of the Match Willian instead of Enrique Mkhitaryan? And also, would you use Heung-min Son instead of Jesus on that position? Hope you see this and answer. Yeah, I actually replaced Henrik Mkhitaryan because he's absolutely garbage in this game. And I did end up replacing him with a man of the match Willian card, which I'll be honest with you guys right now, he's a very, very fun card to use. Not meta, doesn't have any physical, which is a huge problem in FUT Champs, right? Hence why the fun concept not there. But in general, like to have fun with him, man of the match Willian is a ton of fun. He's so much better than, or not so much better. He's just better than Mkhitaryan. Heung-min Son in replacement of Jesus is again is very much a possibility because Heung-min Son has high work rates. He's got the 5-star weak foot. His dribbling isn't as quick as Gabriel Jesus, but he would definitely have the body posture of being able to outbody people. Because I don't actually know if Heung-min Son actually has any physical stats. I'll go check that out right now. Actually, we're gonna search up Heung-min Son. So his left mid card has 68 strength with 68 aggression, but he is 6 foot tall in game, and he's not skinny in game. He's kind of built. So the thing is that people that don't understand, right, is that posture in the game and physical, I guess their physique in game, if they're like semi-big dudes, even if they don't have the strength, because they're so big, it takes longer for a player to try to get around them to try to get the ball, right? He just won't outbody people mostly when he's going after the ball, but he looks like he is a fantastic card. He has 84 agility with 82 balance, 91 dribbling with 78 composure. Oh, 78 composure is not right because this is Foothead, and I don't think Foothead updates their composure. His finishing is very good. 5-star weak foot is fantastic to have, and with 4-star skill moves, you can't go wrong with the card. It's definitely worth trying out. He can also win the ball in the air because 71 jumping with 6 foot isn't that bad, but he's also 91 at heading, right? So his jumping isn't crazy, but when he gets that ball, he's very good at heading the ball. So if you put a ball into the box, he'll be the type of player that if I'm using like a 4-2-3-1 and I want my left mids and right mids to be able to win those headers in the air, they'll be able to do it, right? So yeah. By the way, so you guys like how I just randomly just changed my shirt and everyone's just like, oh my god, like, did he just totally just change his shirt without us knowing? Dude, I felt dirty, so I had to take a shower because it didn't feel right, you know, and the whole situation didn't feel right. So that's why I look all fresh now. See, I have to be fresh for you guys. It can't be dirty for you guys. That's only later on, but right now I have to be a little bit fresh, right? So, do you think FUT Champs would be more fun if they, during non-qualifying months, they made requirements like last year, no icons in a full Calcio A squad, or Bundesliga, or players from the same nation, minimum 10, stuff like that, in my opinion, would make it fun? I think it would make it fun. I just think that the concept of having a requirement of games within a specific time span is not okay. Because the game should be played freely with no worry at the back of your head. If you're playing drafts, like for me, for instance, like I have like 3.6 million coins. If I play a draft and I lose my draft, who cares? I'll get angry like as a regular gamer, like shit, blah, but I won't go on from that. I won't carry on forward from that. Like with champs, I do, because every specific scenario is important if you really want to grow your game competitive. But in champs, dude, you guys are going to see it in this highlights reel. You're going to see this one game that I played against this guy where I beat him 4-3. Look at the 3 of the goals that he scored. One, my Modric, I'm just holding L trigger with him. He does a shooting animation. His leg gets caught with Modric, fouls him in the box. It's a penalty. And he scored 2 deflections, one off of my defender that went into the back of the net, and one that bounced right back to him. He does a driven shot at De Gea, but Team of the Year De Gea, for some reason, isn't a good goalkeeper. I don't know why, but his regular is just way better than the Team of the Year version. Don't get the Team of the Year version. The Team of the Year version, like, he did the leg save and it went right off the top part of his foot and into the back of the net. Sorry. But yeah, I think even if they change the concept of how it is, man, I just think the whole entire aspect of, hey, if you lose the game and it's a really bad game that you lost, or as we know, the pay to win concept, it's just, for me, I'm not into FUT Champs as a game mode. I'm into World Cup game mode of FIFA 14. That was a fun game mode. I'm into draft if they reformatted it a little bit. Divisions should be the competitive version of the game, but it should be formatted in a way where it's fun to actually get the rewards. I wish FUT Champs never existed. I wish that it would not be a thing in the game. I think competitive should be entirely its own thing. And then the game should be one thing. Like if you have competitive, if you have FUT Champs as a game mode, and you get certain rewards from playing FUT Champs, but it's not like a necessity to play FUT Champs. It's more for like the players to qualify for tournaments and stuff. That makes more sense. But to revolve all your content around a stressful game mode, it's really stupid in my opinion. I don't like playing it. I can do well with it. As you guys know, I've gotten Elite 1 twice with very mediocre teams in comparison to the teams that people have nowadays. But it's just not worth the stress that you have to put yourself in to get these coins, because dude, I have like 3.7 million coins on the Xbox right now, and I don't play champs for divisions, so it just seems like a waste of time for me. But yeah, I switched to Fortnite. Big surprise. It's stress-free unless you make it, and fun to play with friends. Yeah, when I play Fortnite, it's a fun game. Like, you can get angry at the game, but when you get angry at Fortnite, it's just like, shit, I died, I totally want to play another one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a different type of video game in general, for sure. I've been watching your videos for a while now, and I saw that you use Martial as a striker and Jesus on the wing. I've switched them around, and as I was using Jesus as striker, and it's so much better. I managed to get Elite now, thanks a lot, man. I've been a Gold 1 player since the start of FIFA 17, so to be getting Elite now consistently, it just feels so good, and you're the main reason for it, so keep up the good work. Adam, thank you very much, man. I'm glad that you start getting Elite in FUT Champs now. That's awesome. At least you get those Team of the Week packs, right? Like, I really do feel like if you play FUT Champs, you gotta at least get Elite 3. At this point, like, you need an informed pack. If you don't, it's not even worth it already, because, dude, if you guys seen some of the packs people get in top 100, it's not worth all that stress, man. You might as well just trade and get better coins. But I'm glad that you do better in FUT Champs now, man. That's really, really awesome to see. Everyone who plays FUT Champs or played FUT Champs plays it for the rewards and not because of fun. I really hate to play Champs. The shit gameplay makes me want to vomit. I decided to get Elite 1 squad battles every week, save the packs for Team of the Season, and use the 40k to just do what I want to do, instead of throwing away my weekend for Gold 2, which probably earns me like 80k. I really hope they try to make a new competitive game mode and throw FUT Champs away. It F's up the whole game, and it makes the game too competitive. Really enjoying your vids. Keep it up. Thank you, man. I'm glad you like the videos. Yeah, you basically took the words right out of my mouth, man. Them adding a competitive mode to this game where all the content revolves around it, and not even just because of the content, but the way that they format it with 40 games in the space of 3 days. And, you know, you can have a really crap team and someone else can have a good team. Like, the thing that I always mentioned, like in the last podcast, was, if I have a good record with a shit team, I'm going to just come up against God Squads. Like, that's what was happening in the last, like, couple of games that I played. And I wasn't about it. I wasn't having fun. I didn't like being at a huge disadvantage. It wasn't fun for me. So I just didn't bother playing the rest of them. But I do enjoy drafts, because if I select the players that I want and someone else selects the players they want, and they can't have a significantly better team than me. Although some drafts I have really bad teams and I'll get destroyed. I had a draft once where I was using Zabaleta. It was Zabaleta, a silver guy from Crystal Palace, as a center back. Schneiderlin as a center back, and then I was using Leighton Baines as a left back. Dude, I lost 2-1, but it was so hard to play without those four as a back four. It was just so difficult. Yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here. Timestamps of all the topics are better than splitting it into 2 different videos if people want to choose the topic they want to listen to. Dude, I would have to watch the full entire video myself for me to know exactly where I have to pinpoint exactly where each topic is. So that would just be like a lot of work to do right there. These videos are already a lot of work to do, because I have to play the gameplay, which, if you guys know the stream that I did recently, it was like 6.5 hours. So the gameplay you see here is a span of 6.5 hours of gameplay, and then I have to edit that gameplay down and then add the face cam on top of it. So rewatching the entirety of the video gameplay wise to understand exactly where I talk about certain things, it would just add to too much. Like, I think the format of how we have it right now is good. Again, I find it really weird that people complain about the 1 hour thing, because you don't have to watch the full video, because I literally have 15 different types of videos into 1 hour, and you can just stop whenever you want, because it's like, hey, I just watched 3.5 minutes. I've gotten all the information I needed. I'm good for today. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't have to watch the full thing. They can just watch a part of it and then just go from there. So yeah. In your opinion, who is better, Sandro or 85 Inform Telge? The only thing speaking for Sandro are work rates and strength. Great videos, best FIFA YouTuber right now. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'll be honest with you guys, and I don't know if this is like a bias because I'm a Porto fan, but dude, Alex Telj is so much fun to use in this game. He's so much fun. His passing is very good. The thing I noticed the most with that card is the passing, right? Because his passing stats are really good. I'm actually gonna search it up for you guys right now. His 85 passing stats has 85 short passing and 90 long passing, as well as 96 curve. So you know when sometimes you're using like a 4-2-3-1 bracket 2 where you have your left mids and your right mids. If you put instructions for those left mids and right mids to get in behind, dude, he's going to make the most perfect passes to those guys. And defensively, he's very nice. He's got very good defensive stats and physical stats. I thoroughly enjoy using this card more than I do Alexandro because his dribbling just feels better. And as he's attacking and defending, I just like him more. He has 87 jumping with 75 heading. His strength isn't that great, but he has a little bit of aggression. So he can win the ball in the air. Because 5'11" is quite a decent height. And high medium isn't terrible because I use high medium with David Alaba right now. But this card is very, very fun to use. A lot of fun to use. He's very good. It's him and Ricardo Pereira. Ricardo Pereira is a very underrated right back too because Ricardo Pereira is a fantastic card to use in this game. Again, more aggressive type players because they kind of push up a little bit more. But they have such good stats for what you're looking for in a fullback. And he has a 4-star weak foot too, so that's just even better to have, right? So, yeah, but in terms of Alex Telj or Sandro, it's situational, man. Sometimes the work rates make a player play better in a specific team more than a good player playing in a specific team, and it doesn't make him good. It's very, very specific, right? Generally speaking, I'd probably choose Alex Telj, but it really depends on how the format of the team is, the tactics, the instructions and stuff, because Sandro's more of that physical type of, he's like a center back as a left back essentially, so it's, you know. What else do we got here? Hey Inception, do you listen to any music during champs and do you think it helps? I don't listen to music during champs. I like listening to music like really low, right? Like when I'm streaming, I have the music very low for me on my speakers it's at a very good volume for my stream. But for FUT champs, I don't have it on at all. And that's another reason why I don't like playing FUT champs, because I actually like listening to music when I'm playing FIFA, but because I have to go so try-hard mode on and I have to think about every single specific scenario, I can't even listen to music because it distracts me so much. Everyone is different though. I've seen people literally bring music to competitive competitions and use music there. So it's very situational for everybody. For me personally, I can't listen to it if I'm playing competitive FIFA, but this 6.5 hours of me playing FUT drafts, I was listening to music and it was great. I was just chilling with my chat. They were there on the side and I was just playing. Streaming is really dead right now for FIFA, like really dead. Like if I go on FIFA 18 right now, the top streamer has 266 viewers. It's really dead game to stream right now. But I still like to hang out with the people in my stream, so that's why I continue to do it. And if I'm gonna do the gameplay off stream, I might as well just do it on stream, so it doesn't really make much sense to not stream the games, in my opinion. Although I will say this right now, the streams nowadays aren't as entertaining because I don't really have a face cam on and stuff. I'm just there playing the game and then responding to chat from time to time. I don't even like the face cam being on me during my streams because I have like this way of thinking nowadays where when I'm streaming, I don't want to have the mentality of I'm streaming. I want to have the mentality of like, hey, I just got home, I feel like playing a video game, bam, hop on, stream it while I'm playing, go from there. I don't like the face cam on me when I'm playing because it makes me feel like I'm working, and I don't like when this feels like a job to me. I like it when it's like a fun thing for me to do. So that's why I've eliminated the face cam from my streams, and I'm not sure if they'll be coming back anytime soon, but as of right now, I like when they're not there. Obviously, it affects the streams, but it just makes me more comfortable when I'm playing, especially since streaming is kind of dead right now, and it's more like trying to grow that YouTube channel, you know what I mean? Because you guys like the videos, man. It's really cool to actually read the comments because very rarely are there any negative comments in the chat. It's usually just genuine question. Like, you have hatred towards the game, don't worry, I do too, but you guys usually ask very genuine questions. which is nice to do for videos. Like I said, I really like doing these podcast type videos where I just respond to your questions. It's a lot of fun for me. What else we got here? Nice content. I'm done with it too, I think. I have 1.5 million team, and every other game I was coming against 15 to 20 million coin teams. So difficult to defend against. Like I said, dude, it's just not fun to play against, man. I don't like that if I'm a similar skill level to someone, if they have a better team than me, I'm just gonna get destroyed. And it's not very fun for me, so. They should make squad battles like FUT champs without qualification. This would benefit the little player with rewards that are better than the current squad battles rewards, but not as good as FUT champs. They should make squad battles like FUT champs without qualification. So you're basically saying to eliminate divisions and just make squad battles, but for online. That's what you're essentially saying, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I think divisions is such a dead game mode nowadays. Like, I tried to play Division 1 games the other day, and I swear to God, the guys that I found like a week ago are the same exact people playing it now. And dude, there's actually times where you press start on the PlayStation, for NA at least. In UK, it might be a little bit different. You guys might be able to find more people because football is a way of life for you guys. And in the North Americans, it's not necessarily a way of life for us, right? So we do find the same people pretty much all the time in divisions. Like, I've actually switched to the PlayStation because gameplay tends to be better on the PlayStation, but I like to have both consoles for me to play on for sure. Let's see what else we got here. We have, I've already quit. It's a joke, not even fun to play. It's like asking for headache tablets. No, for sure, dude. I definitely understand that. I definitely get where you're coming from. Hey, great vids. I find that the 4-3-1-2 works better than the 4-1-2-1-4. Oh, you probably meant to say 4-1-2-2. For me, because in the 4-1-2-2, the right centerman and the cam switch half of the game. They do, yeah. I have Bakayoko, Fernandinho, Dembele as my 3 center mids. I have 900k. I can use 2 upgrades and use Say to upgrade your midfield. So what do you think it would be the best players for me to upgrade to? So you said that you have. I have Bakayoko, Fernandinho, and Dembele as my 3 center mids. I have 900k. I can use 2 upgrades and. See, that's situational because the players that you have in your team, the Bakayoko, the Fernandinho, and Dembele, if you're using a 4-1-2-2, the only meta players that I can think of that you can use that aren't icon players because you only have 900k to work with are the Pogbas. Pogbas would be a decent. I think you would have to get the inform version of Pogba, and that would be a little bit too expensive, I think, for the position that you're paying for. But the only players that are good in those positions is like Dembele, Bakayoko, Herrera. Conte has a CDM too, but Conte's short, but he has the work rates over Bakayoko, right? So it's very, very situational. Upgrading the midfield is the most important, but dude, in this FIFA, if you upgrade a Bakayoko to an informed Fernandinho, it's like you might as well just keep a Bakayoko, you know what I'm saying? But in this FIFA, it's more apparent to upgrade to the crazy players like the Vieiras and the Hullets in those positions. So it's, for me personally, dude, it'd be very hard to answer that question for you for sure. Inception, I don't think you're negative. You know, I think the people telling you that you're negative are actually negative. Why are you negative? Because you want good change in the game. The people moaning about you are the negative ones in my eyes. Aw, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You guys are so nice to me sometimes. No, I get that, dude. Like, the only reason why I'm so vocal and negative towards this game is because I'm very unhappy with the current state of it every single year. And I feel like it can be better because, dude, it has that potential when a World Cup mode comes out and it's such a beautiful game mode and then they don't show that potential consistently and they don't fix the gameplay issue. But that's besides the point. I do appreciate the nice words, man. Thank you very much, dude. What do you think about SBC Promise playing as a lone striker? Was also wondering if you have any ideas how to make FIFA more enjoyable when the gameplay is awful. Also, keep the great work. These podcasts are a great format. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So, to make FIFA more enjoyable for you when the gameplay is awful is to not actually play the gameplay. Because the gameplay, when it's bad, it's not fun to play at all. Like, you can use Ronaldo's, Messi. It doesn't matter. If the gameplay is bad, everyone's going to feel terrible. So, the best thing that I can suggest for you to do is to go and play pro clubs or something. If pro clubs is not fun for you, the best thing I would tell you to do is to learn how to trade and learn how to work the menus, because you can actually make more money nowadays by doing the bronze pack method and just learning how to trade and making profit on players. Like, dude, Just the other day, I bought like Ricardo Pereira for like 40K, and then he sold for 60K. But I didn't know how to sell him for 60K. He just was 60K, right? I didn't know if there was a format of him being sold at that price and whatnot. You have to find players on the market that you feel like, wow, this guy is incredibly meta-oriented, and he's really cheap right now, and I feel like he's going to go up in price. So I'm going to buy him right now, and then he'll go up in price later, right? Other than that, though, man, there's not really much to go by in this game if the gameplay is bad. Like, if the gameplay is bad, it's very hard for you to enjoy the game. So I would suggest trying to play Pro Clubs, because even if the gameplay feels bad on Pro Clubs, at least it's fun to play the actual mode itself, in my opinion. If you have friends, even better. If you don't, then try to figure out some stuff to do in the menus, because there's a lot of stuff you can do in the menus nowadays. People actually tend to chill in the menus more than they actually tend to play the game, so it's very interesting. Inception, how did you become a YouTuber? Just curious, everyone has a story. My story is really long. I could tell the story because there's a lot of questions and stuff. So when I first started doing YouTube, I did it in FIFA 12 or 13, and you guys might be able to check back all the way. When I started doing it in FIFA 12 and 13, I think I did pink slips, and I just did random videos here and there. I think I just did clips and Division 1 runs. I don't think I did very specific type of videos. But I reached a certain point in YouTube where I noticed that there wasn't any growth, because I feel like my content wasn't good enough. Because I feel like if you make content that is good enough, then, you know, it would definitely grow. Because people say that it's very hard to grow on YouTube, and it definitely is. But if you actually notice, it only takes one person to click on your channel, check out a certain video that you make, and if you consistently make good videos, even if you get like 200, 300 views each video, when people check out one video and they really like that video, they tend to check out the other videos as well. And if your other videos are also good, that's what attracts more people. But when I was younger, I didn't really have that understanding with YouTube. So I reached a certain point when I was in high school, I think I was 17 or 18, where I became more of a Twitch streamer, because I wanted to stream the game, because I preferred streaming more than I preferred YouTube, which is funny because it's the opposite nowadays. It always changes depending on the game, right? Because back in the day, I actually really enjoyed playing the game for countless hours. So back in the FIFA 14 and FIFA 15 days, I streamed so many hours every single day. I was #1 in titles, season points, and wins on FIFA 15 for online seasons. And that's how I grew myself as a Twitch streamer, right? So that's how people checked out the channel. And from the Twitch channel, people subscribed over to the YouTube channel. So the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel were hand in hand. If the Twitch channel did badly, the YouTube channel would do badly, right? But nowadays it's really cool, because even though Twitch is doing really poorly right now, my YouTube channel is doing really well. So I made a couple videos a month or two ago where I actually started to make very good content on YouTube. In my opinion, I started to really put out that content that people are actually interested in seeing, making proper videos, and the stream has this like consistent growth. It's not crazy like other channels, but it now has this consistent growth that people can come to the channel, check out, and it's just a really fun experience. And I'm telling you guys this right now, if you guys are looking into doing YouTube videos, it's really, really fun to post a video and to see how it does in the next day. I can see how it does in the beginning of the day, because when I read your questions, I can see, hey, they like this video, they don't like this video, and then I can see your comments earlier. That's why when some people say, when I don't answer their questions, it's not because I don't want to answer your question, it's because the time frame of which you asked it was too late. Because right now, the questions that I'm reading, there's like around 100 comments, and it's 4 hours into the video. So it's really amazing to see, right? If it's another video and you guys comment even more and ask more questions, that's better for the other videos too. So it's just really fun for me, man. I wish I had this concept when I was younger, because I feel like I would have been more motivated at the time when I was younger to make better content, because that's what I was missing when I was young, when I first made YouTube videos, is that concept of, hey, I can post a video and there's actually people there to watch, right? But really grinding in the hours, countless. Like I'm telling you guys, like I did a lot of risks in life. Like I left my job to stream full time. At the time was a very, very smart decision by me, and it worked out really well. Twitch wise, Streaming is dead now because of the current state of the game, but if the new FIFA comes out, it's back to its normal ways of being really good and all that stuff, right? But right now, with how FIFA is, streaming is very dead. YouTube is doing really well, so that's why I try to post consistent content every day on the YouTube channel, because it's this is fun to me now, right? Making this type of content is fun to me. Streaming is a little bit more stressful because of the current state of the game, but hopefully I can reach a point in the future where streaming and YouTube is very fun for me to do, and I can do both for countless hours and just have fun. But that's basically my story on YouTube. Oh, I also have like some side stories actually. When I was growing my channel, this is actually a really interesting situation. So as you guys know, Spencer FC used to be the FIFA player, right? I mean, yeah, you know, he's not the FIFA player. He used to be the FIFA player, right? His channel used to have just above 100K or just below 100K. It was around that region when he was doing this specific like series on his channel. And in this series, he was doing a series where if you beat him, he would give your YouTube channel a shout out, and if he beat you, you would give him oh, and not only would he just do the shout outs, but he would also do something to himself. Like I ended up beating him 4-0, and I told him to slap himself in the face multiple times. This is when I was younger. I told him to slap himself in the face multiple times with powder in his hands for his video, and it never ended up going up because people didn't like the ideas of the series. The video before he would have posted on his channel, right, when I was younger. So it's really interesting that that's actually a story. You guys can actually see the game on my YouTube channel of me playing the FIFA player when I beat him 4-0. Really cringy stuff. When I score, I'm like, hey guys, oh my god, I beat the FIFA player. See you guys later. Super cringy stuff. But when you're young, you know, it's fun to make the videos during that time. So it was cool for me. I was whatever, you know. But yeah, dude, that's my story with YouTube. Hi guys, I'm a batting average FIFA player and need some advice. If I go a goal down, the opponent just keeps the ball and I find it really hard to get the ball back. Is there anything I can do apart from high pressure and team press? You know what's funny is that when people score a goal against me, if they're playing like a douchebag, I still play my normal ways. I only put high pressure, not when I get annoyed, but when I feel like the formation and tactics I'm using can high pressure against the other person really well. I still tend to play very normally. I play normal until I can get that one goal back, and then I do the same kind of thing against him, and then when he gets upset, that's when I really counter him and attack a lot to try to get that other goal. I know it's a very generic answer, but for me personally, when someone scores a goal against me, I tend to play the exact same way until I get a goal back. And in the 50th minute or so, if I'm noticing that it's not working out, I change my formations, I change my tactics, and see if it would work out a little bit better there. This is a Portuguese comment. Olá, inception, sou do Brazil. E if I don't read Portuguese well, I'm sorry. I understand it though. This guy recently stopped by my channel. Graças a seus vídeos, consigo pagar elite pela primeira vez. Semana passada consigo novamente esta semana. Blanc e o cara abraços. Also, this guy is basically saying, stream, that he just so happened to stop by the YouTube channel, and by visiting the YouTube channel, it's helped him get elite, and that's really awesome to see, man. I'm glad that the videos have helped you get elite, and I'm glad that it's helped a lot of people get elite. It's awesome to see that people are doing well in FUT Champs and can actually enjoy it, because people do like opening those packs. For me, I don't necessarily care, but it's really cool to see people doing better nowadays. Really awesome to see. Love your content, especially the advanced attacking and defending videos. Is there anything I can do in delay defensively to help, especially defending counterattacks when I play 4-1-2-2? If your gameplay is delayed and you're defending, don't hold our trigger. Only hold our trigger when you truly need to, because the best way to defend is not even holding L trigger, because if it's delayed. Because if you're holding L trigger, you're actually slowing down the movements of your player. But if you're just using your left stick and trying to, you have to steer him. You're like steering a ship when you're going left and right with him, right? Like he'll keep going up, but you have to kind of steer him to go to the right side, right? So I would suggest to not hold L trigger that much when it's delayed. Obviously, when it's not delayed, hold L trigger with your life, because that's like one of the most important things in this game. But when it's delayed, be careful when you press L trigger and when you don't press L trigger. That's what's going to help you in this game 100%. Let's see some other comments we got going on here. I'm sorry that I'm answering these questions really early. So there's a lot of questions that you guys ask that I don't end up getting. But if I don't end up getting it in this video, I do try to come back to this video, get your questions again, and then put them into the new video. So amigo, obrigado for the content. Can you give me your idea on informed Danilo Pereira at CDM for Foot Champs? He's absolutely trash bags in this game. I hate Danilo Pereira. I love him in real life. That's my baby girl in real life. But in this game, he's really bad, dude. I'm going to tell you why he's really bad, right? If you're playing Foot Champs and you want to play Foot Champs not for the fun concept, but for the concept of winning, this card is just, it's not good, man. Because let me tell you his specific stats, okay? He has 70 pace, which already is a big downfall. Do you know why? Because he has 68 acceleration with 70 sprint speed. Even if you give this card a shadow card, defensively, he will be better, 100%. But acceleration and sprint speed wise, he just doesn't cut it. And it's really funny with this card because he may be 6'2", but he doesn't often win the ball in the air against someone that actually has good jumping stats. But the acceleration and the sprint speed, as well as the poor agility and balance, is what makes this card very, very bad, dude. Acceleration is, for me in FIFA, it's more important because you don't hold our trigger that often, but in certain situations, you do actually hold our trigger. But for Danilo Pereira, a CDM that needs to push forward a little bit and come back a lot, his 68 acceleration and 70 sprint speed is not good enough. Even if you give him a shadow card, it's just not a good card. Is it a fun card to use because he's from Porto? 100%, but not because he's a good card, man. That's what I would say. I have tried him out too. It was so insignificant when he was on the pitch. It was really, really bad for me. Where do you think weak foot is more important, in the wings or in the middle? Every position. Another question I usually play... Oh, so this is... Okay, so let me answer that first. Every position for your weak foot to be good is important. Every single position. Because every specific scenario is important, right? If you're... let's just say if your right-footed player is on the left side and you have a 3-star weak foot for his left foot, you can no longer get into the box and do a driven shot across goal because he's not going to be able to do a very good one because he has a 3-star weak foot. If you have a striker that doesn't have a 4-star weak foot, that's one of the worst things that you can possibly have because he's always either on the left side or the right side. Same thing with your CDMs. You do the best that you can, but hold it with that 5-star weak foot. People do not understand how much of a big difference that card makes to a team. If a Laurent Blanc makes a difference to my team, like a significant difference to my team, where he is miles beyond the level of the rest of the players in my team, it says a lot because that's not even Patrick Vieira. Imagine a Patrick Vieira in place of Laurent Blanc, right? So in regards to the weak foot, every position is important, man. You want to be able to do everything that you possibly can when you're playing FIFA. When you have a player that has a 2-star weak foot or 3-star weak foot, it's incredibly underwhelming to not be able to use them or to move the ball a certain way because they're lacking in a specific area, weak foot or skill move wise. So that's how important I would say it is for sure. I love every video of this guy. He deserves top 100. Unfortunately, Foot Champs is for me. So it's too much, 40 games in 3 days plus squad battles 45 games. It's boring, but man, I love the rewards. I pack in squad battles Prime Larson. I finished 18th in Weekend League, only goal 2. Oh, you finished 18 wins on Weekend League, only goal 2. It's so annoying. Every opponent I have squad team here, Ronaldo, Messi, Bale. It's hard versus standard teams to beat them. Oh my god, in total 85 games. That's squad battles plus Weekend League equals no life. I don't actually play squad battles. See, I tried to play squad battles. There was a day that I tried to play squad battles, but the reason why I didn't enjoy playing it was because you can exploit the AI. And I felt like because I was able to exploit the AI, I didn't like it. Because if you guys notice, the way you beat squad battles on FIFA is if you're playing it on Legendary, right? In the first half, you just keep possession of the ball. And in the second half, you just do fake shots galore. Because if you do fake shots, the AI of the other team, they just stand still. They don't move, right? And they just let you pass them. So when I noticed that that was a thing, I no longer wanted to play it because if I'm going to be facing Legendary, which, and there's a really small distinguished difference between Legendary and Ultimate. Like if you beat Ultimate 3-1 and you beat Legendary 5-0, you actually get more for beating Legendary on 5-0, although it's easier than Ultimate. It's very, very weird, right? But for me personally, Squad battles is something I don't play because once I noticed you can exploit the AI, it wasn't something that I was interested in playing. I would consider playing it, but it's just because of that I just didn't do it, you know. Would be nice to hear you talking about custom tactics depending on your game style. Is easy to copy and paste your tactics, Guerrillas or anyone else's, but I'm bad defending like too many. What should I use? I normally use the 4-1-2-2 bracket 2 and the 4-2-3-1 bracket 2. Sometimes with the narrow, I feel like I use way too much the bands when I don't supposed to. But when I use a wide, I can't take advantage of it. Is it for tactics or just because I'm bad? Thank you. It's always fun to hear you while I'm working. So with the formation that you're using, 4-2-3-1 is the 4-2-3-1 bracket 2 is the formation you want to use to be a better organized team defensively, depending on the team that you're facing, right? So 4-2-3-1 is the most ideal, but if you're facing someone that is using a 4-1-2-1-2, it's actually better to counter against them by also using 4-1-2-1-2 so that you can counter that middle presence, because if his center mid pushes out wide and your center mid pushes out wide to go and defend against him, it's not a big deal because he has the same exact quantity of players in the middle against the same quantity of players that you have in the middle, right? So 4-2-3-1 is better defensively, but it lacks in the attack. 4-1-2-2 is, I would say it's more fun to use because attacking wise you have more options to move left, right, center, but defensive wise it is such an awful formation, man. People will exploit you in that formation, not even because they're better than you, but because the fullbacks push to the middle. That's the worst game mechanic in this game when they do that. Even if you don't second man press, they will still do that because they follow a guy in the middle and they just leave the guys on the sides, right? And it's incredibly frustrating. Most of the times you see someone use a 4-1-2-2 that's a good player, you'll actually notice that they have a really, really good team to be able to use that formation. Or they're using players like a Conte, a Nangolan, and then on the left side, maybe like a Gareth Bale or something, right? Because if you have that as your midfield, it's actually not bad because medium-high work rates with Conte, high work rates with someone like Nangolan on the sides, and then Gareth Bale, who's not necessarily defensive, but he has the pace and that beautiful left foot to be on the left side, then it's a good formation. But if you don't have the right players in those formations, it's so bad, dude. Like, you just can't rotate the team nice enough, man. It's so important nowadays to have a midfield. And again, 4-1-2-2 is very good with the good players because if you can attack and defend, have the weak foot, the shooting, the dribbling, the height, the heading, the physical, everything, the formation, I feel like I would be using the 4-1-2-2 instead of the 4. I have to be more defensive when I play FUT Champs because of how good these teams are. But if I have a 4-1-2-2, which is my favorite formation to use to have fun with those players, I feel like that's the formation I would probably use more often than the 4-2-3-1 because they would have the pace and the physical to make up for either pushing out of position or being too aggressive or being too conservative. They would make up for it, right? So it sucks because I would like to use the 4-1-2-2 more fun-wise, but that's for drafts and that's why I love playing drafts. So yeah. I have a meta team for around 450k and I don't have fun in FIFA anymore. Should I sell my team just to buy Neymar and get the fun back? Dude, if you're not a content creator, because on Twitch, right? This is why Twitch is dying right now. It's all about like winning. If I use a shit team against someone's God Squad, the Twitch chat doesn't see it that way. They just see it like you're crap. So if you just want to have fun, dude, sell that team, dude. Use players that you will have fun with. Don't care about your results. As a content creator, we have to because it's the only way we can create content. But if you just want to have fun, man, dude, I'm telling you, just play with the players you want to play with and have fun, bro. Use the formations you want. Don't worry too much about the results. Just have fun with the game, man. FUT Champs is stressful, but that's why I like it. It's like my Champions League. Inception, maybe you should buy players that will help you get the job done. Real football fans can't be top FIFA players because we try to emulate real life soccer in FIFA. Keep up the good work. Don't quit. Dude, I quit. I'm quitting FUT Champs because you're saying to get good players like it's an easy thing to do. Like I can't even afford one of these guys, bro, because one of these guys will cost 1.5 or 1.7 million coins. A Hullet alone is like over 3 million. A Patrick Vieira alone is like 1 million or 2 million. It's not easy to get these players. If EA were to just give me these players, hell yeah, I'd play FUT Champs all the time. But dude, I'm not willing to have to work for it against these people that have the good teams already. So that's what my answer is to that. Sorry, dude. Amazing video as always, Inception. I have a question. I found when I play better players who defend manually, I try to actually play the game. I have a much better feel with the game. However, when I play people who park the bus and counter, I find I lose those games the most. How do I counter that style of play? I currently play 4-1-2 and 2 bracket 2 and have a very decent team. No disadvantages there. If you're playing someone that's playing counterattack and they're playing super defensive, it's patience, man. You just have to build up the play so much. It's so annoying and it irks my soul on the inside, but it's just patience, bro. Like, you have to be very patient when you're attacking against these guys because you have to work that space. Always remember that the space that you want to work is the middle space. Once their midfielders push out and you have your strikers or your left wings and right wings or your left mids and right mids to push against the defense and you pass that midfield, that's when you can either exploit the sides because the fullbacks push into the middle, or you bring it back and then push to the sides, or use some plays in the middle to create some space for yourself. It's all about switching formations, being patient with what you want to do. If someone is being a bitch against you, you gotta be a bitch against them too. They should have a no icon mode or stipulations like in a daily knockout tournament for FUT champs to mix it up, and also they can fix if they can fix that inconsistent gameplay. Inconsistent gameplay has been a thing in this game for 5 years, so if they fix it next year, it would be a goddamn miracle. I would probably cry because of how much shit I dealt with for the last couple of years of just the inconsistency with gameplay. Like, when you find out one gameplay, guys, it pisses you off that you don't have it for the whole day. It's because, like, when you get it, everything is just so great. Like, life is fantastic. You're just playing a video game because you're having fun. It's like the bad gameplay never happened. But, like, when you play games and it starts to seep in again, right? When it starts to seep in, you're just like, why you do this to me? You know, it's so annoying. Let's see what else we got going on here. I did not mean to do that. There we go. My problem with FIFA 18 is that it's just not fun anymore. I would love for EA to bring back tournaments like the Team of the Season tournaments every year, where let's say you win a player that nearly missed out on a Team of the Week. By the way, I love your new podcast and videos. Thanks, man. You look like Alex Telles, by the way. See, I don't look like Alex Telles. I look more like Oscar and this one dude from like Pachuca in the Mexican League that people were telling me recently. But yeah, I agree, man. The tournaments were really fun. Like, the last thing that they did that was fun in FIFA was those pink cards 2 or 3 years ago. The Konoplyanka, the Royce, and the Aubameyang. That was great, man. I loved playing for those cards. That was a lot of fun. The Team of the Season tournaments from players that missed out on the Team of the Season Cup, those were great too. They don't focus on the fun, man, and I really hope, because the game is going to be the way the game is now, but I really sincerely hope that they change it up for next year, because I know for a straight fact FUT Champs isn't going to change anytime soon, but I hope that Team of the Season and the World Cup game mode, if it comes out, changes things, because that would definitely be awesome if they actually did that. Do I live in Portugal? You're from Açores. I'm from Açores too, man. Like, my ethnic background, I'm Açorian, but I don't live in Portugal, no. Hey, bro, appreciate the content. Could you try out 87 Inform Mili Savage and compare him to 85 Blanc? Thank you. I actually never used that Milinkovic card, which is funny because now that I'm thinking about it, I've never gotten him in the draft, right? Because I feel like if I were to get the card, the format of how my video would be like, is Milinkovic really worth it, right? Because, like, people talk about him a lot and they say that he's really good. And I'm telling you guys this right now, I've yet to use the cards. But as you guys know in that video that I made about the stats and characteristics you should look for before you buy a player, the things that I talk about with that card, right, which I'm going to show you guys right now, or I'm going to tell you guys right now because gameplay in the background and stuff. He has 72 agility with 64 balance while being 6'3". That, for me, bothers me, right? That's without playing with him. And I know for a fact I will notice that in the game. But here's the thing with this card. He is a player that is a midfielder with 4-star skill moves, weak foot, right? He has 73 acceleration and 79 sprint speed. So this is a card that is not guaranteed to be good for you, but there's a lot of potential for him to be good. And there's a lot of potential that he would shit all over Pogba because Pogba has no defensive stats, because this card actually has defensive stats as well as the physical with the height and very good passing with both feet, skill moves, 83 finishing with 83 composure, 99 shot power with 87 long shots. This is the type of card that I refer to as a trying out type of card. You have to try out the card. There is potential that he will be very good, but there's also potential that he could not be as good as you think he is. So if I get him in the draft one day, hopefully I do, I would love to try out his card, because the only position that I can see myself playing him in is the right center mid spot. So if I get him in a 4-3-1-2 or something and I could just put him on, that would be great. But although in this video you may have seen him as a selection, I don't remember him being one. But if I do miss out on him, let me know so I can actually select him, because I think it would definitely be worth making a video about him, because he's a super, like, he's one of those players that people talk about all the time, and it would be nice to see if he's genuinely worth getting or not. So let's see what else we got going on here. What do you think of playing Prime Blanc as a CDM? He's the only expensive player I have and want to make the most of it. Cheers from Australia, mate. Prime Blanc as a CDM. Let's see what Blanc's card's like. So Blanc has 79 pace with 92 defending with 86 physical, 70 passing, 78 dribbling with 69 shooting. So this card it's funny because I don't think this card's going to play better than a Cam Laurent Blanc in the CDM position, because he's missing the agility and balance a little bit, because his agility over here is 70 and 70 with his prime version of his card, because he's a center back, right? But his Cam card, right, has 80 agility with 76 balance, so that's way better to have when you're being a CDM, so that you don't feel as sluggish when you're moving left and right properly, right? He has 85 acceleration with 82 sprint speed on his Cam card, whereas on his center back card he has 77 acceleration with 80 sprint speed, which, to be fair, is still quite decent. That's actually not bad at all. His weak foot and skill moves, I think, is the exact same, but he has all those defensive characteristics that could make him a very good card. And plus, I'm pretty sure if you put a center back in a CDM position, you could definitely try him out there, because his dribbling, it isn't terrible, but it's not as good as a Cam Laurent Blanc, but it's his main priority of being there definitely looks to be about the whole defending concept. But I feel like he would definitely be better utilized as an actual center back, because he's 6'3", medium high work rates, amazing defending stats, amazing physical stats, 77 acceleration with 80 sprint speed is very nice to have for a center back. So you have to be very careful. Use the card in your team. If he ends up being very good for you, use him in your actual squad. If not, hey man, you got a really good center back, and if he's your prime, you probably did the SBC for it. It's very hard to come across center backs that are better than this card. Like, this is the type of card you would need to balance out against a prime Ronaldinho, prime Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi and stuff. This is the type of card that you would need to balance out against those ones. But that is going to conclude it for the podcast today. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys do have any questions FIFA related, again, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys did enjoy the video, please drop a thumbs up on it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.